Hi everyone, Nathan Huddard from Ecommerce Uncovered here. I thought today we might talk about something a little bit different. This is something that if you've been, I guess, an entrepreneur for a while, you might have seen in your life. If you are only just getting started, it might be something that you're going to experience that you might not expect. So I guess to give you a little bit of background, when I first quit my job as an air traffic controller and my wife Tess, my then girlfriend, she sort of quit university and we're trying to get this online thing started. Our goal really was just to have enough income coming in that we could travel the world and sip pina coladas on an island in Thailand, which was of course a worthy goal, one which we accomplished many years ago. But I guess we didn't really set out to be entrepreneurs as such. We didn't really care about that. We just knew that jobs weren't able to provide the kind of lifestyle that we wanted, so we had to do something different to a job, and that involved starting a business. But of course, we knew most businesses wouldn't allow us to do that either, so we sort of looked online to find different ways that we might be able to achieve our goals. So I guess when we first started and we left our jobs, you're kind of, you're not really going to a lot of social engagements. You're not going out to dinner with friends. You're not going to the movies. And in some ways, I guess, it's not unusual for you to stop being invited to some of these things. And that's because you're working hard. You're working at nights. Particularly if you've still got a job, you probably work your nights as well. And maybe capital is not... is maybe a bit thin on the ground as well. Maybe you're putting all your extra dollars into your business as opposed to spending it on movies and food, like your friends might be. And I remember going through this sort of process thinking that one day when our businesses are going and we've got the money coming in again, if we're in the country, then we will be able to go back to doing these things and our friendship circle will just go back to normal. When in reality, this just didn't happen. I guess without knowing it, at some point we became accidental entrepreneurs. We really just wanted to have this end result of the lifestyle, which is still something we would encourage everybody to do. You've got to look at what you want your life to look at before you start a business, because a lot of business models can't actually achieve what you want them to achieve. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. But ultimately, along the way, you're going to have to become an entrepreneur. You have to become somebody that can see an opportunity and to be able to create value into the marketplace in a way that you get rewarded for it. And what happens along the way is you start changing as a person. It's easy to see starting a business as being like just another career. I would wager that that's how 95% of the world see business. You can become a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, or you can become a business owner or entrepreneur. But the reality is very different. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker, you turn up to work, you do your job, come home, forget about it. As an entrepreneur, you never really forget about what's going on in your business. And in some ways, it's very difficult to stop thinking about it. And often, if businesses, if you're enjoying it, you don't want to stop thinking about it. It's more interesting than any other hobby that you can have. I've certainly got friends with a lot of different hobbies. And for a while I felt quite guilty of not having any hobbies. And then I realised, what, it's because I'm running a whole bunch of different businesses. They are my hobbies. And the difference is if you've got a hobby like fishing, you might get a fish at the end of the day, whereas if you have a hobby like entrepreneurship and you're starting businesses, the result of a successful business can change your life. It can buy you an awful lot of fish, and it can help you quit your job and spend as much time with your friends and family as you want to. Although, that just brings me on to, I guess, the topic of this whole video. Can you spend as much time with your friends as you want to? Because most of, I guess, our original friendship circle, who we're still great friends with, by the way, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5 job. But of course, because Tess and I have our days free, we can't hang out with our friends because they're working. And that... So between the fact that you can't spend the kind of time you want with them because they haven't come on this journey with you, and the fact that you've changed an awful lot as a person, and the way you see the world, the way you see capital, the way you see employees or employment, all this will change. And even, to be honest, a lot of your life's philosophies may change along the way as well, as they have for me and for Tess. Then all of a sudden you don't have as much in common with them as you might have had in the past. So you have to expect then that if you're going to go on this journey, that an awful lot might change about your life that goes beyond just whether you have a job or whether you have a business. It's very common, I think, particularly amongst the people that we have mentored ourselves and other business owners that we know, to start not having as much in common with most people as you did in the past. Of course, when you do find somebody who has been on the same journey, you can meet them for the first time and become very good friends very quickly, because you can almost recognise in the other person what they've been through or what they're going through now, no matter what stage of the journey that they're on. And that becomes really exciting. So I guess what happens is, instead of maybe being able to find a quantity of really close friends, you find not so many, but you can become very close very quickly, as we have with some of our new entrepreneurial friends, particularly over the last couple of years, I would say. But those that we have mentored, you can see it, they've already gone through this process as well, or are going through it, where they're just finding it difficult. And to be honest, for some of them, they don't particularly want to go back to those old friendship circles. They don't want to be talking about, cat videos on Facebook, or what, this person did at work and what that person said about them at work and all this kind of stuff. It's just not part of their lives anymore, and they don't want it to be part of their lives, which is totally understandable too. So that's it. This whole business thing, you sort of go from, at some point, talking about, with our model, you're talking about keyword research and ordering products and negotiating with suppliers, and that's all very much a part of this business. But you have to understand that there's kind of the e-commerce side of things, and there's also the becoming an entrepreneur side of things, which, whether you like it or not, is part of the deal. So that's it for this video. I hope there's some value in there. If you're already been on this journey for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know some of these people have had some fun times with family on this journey, while others have had some fun times with friends, and I use the term fun quite loosely. And for those of you just starting out, just be aware that, that this may happen, and never let it stop you from going on this journey. Just be aware that it could happen. And for some people that can be a difficult transition, for others they don't care. So that's it. Hope it's useful. Thanks very much. See you next time.